chances are they're going to get 1/2 to the Final Four, and Florida's everybody's choice.
It's the Florida Gators for me, and you're going to get them in round number 2, fresh out of the gate. That's what makes it tough. So for me, I'm not putting a lot of stock in UConn being back-to-back national champions at this point, as if that would give them a boost.
Only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this once?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid. That magical time of the year when everyone suddenly becomes a basketball expert. Highlight watching, mascot picking, bracket stressing. Sound familiar? Skip the guesswork with Bracket Central. Real expert picks, trusted analysis, and zero stress. Because choosing teams by mascot cuteness isn't exactly a winning strategy. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, let's roll. You get a bonus hour. We're here till 1 a.m. Eastern time this evening, breaking it all down. 62-56 right now for the Michigan Wolverines. They're up by 6. There's 4:52 left in the basketball game, and they're on the free throw line. It's slowed down a little bit. Baskets are getting tougher to come by for both teams. Both teams have ramped up the defense. Now, UC San Diego have come close a couple of times where they've cut the lead again to like 4 and 5, and they take a 3 and they miss. They're just sort of like one shot short of like making this real right now. Once again, one thing with Michigan, and UC San Diego just scored. One thing with Michigan, I know the team well, and I don't need to tell you, Scott, but dude, like they're used to close games. This team, they won 8 straight games by 4 points or less.
Yep.
Right, so that's one thing with Michigan. It's not they're not going to be like, oh my God, it's tied. What do we do? Or it's close or whatever. Like every damn game they play is close. So like they're in their wheelhouse right now. They'll be fine. I think the Michigan will be fine. I'm just sweating out the total here right now. All right, so if you're just joining us, quick check of Saturday's point spreads. And seems like we're all on the same page here. McNeese State getting 6 against Purdue. I think they're a live dog once again. Gonzaga looked great today, but I think Houston are better. This is going to be the game of the. That's going to be an awesome game. Houston are laying 5. Total is 140.5. Creighton and Auburn. I'm not sold on Auburn, guys. Give me Creighton plus the 9 and the over 150.5. And BYU, Wisconsin. I like Wisconsin, and I think there'll be points in that game. The total is 155.5. The steamroller with Scott. What do you think of? We'll go backwards here. We'll start at the back end. Liberty and the Ducks tomorrow night. The last game on the board. We're going to be live for it tomorrow night. Any opinion? The Flames are getting 7. Total 139.5.
Yeah, I passed on that. If I was going to gun to my head, I'm going to play Liberty there. This is a good solid squad. They've had some weird letdowns this season, but the Ducks have had some nice wins. But the Ducks are another team that really kind of tends to play down to the level of their competition at times. I wouldn't be surprised to see this one a tight fight with a short stick all the way through. Oregon may get there in scramble time. They may need the last 30 seconds to score 5 or 6 points and get the cover. But I think it's going to be we got some good games tomorrow and Saturday. So I'm excited for the rest of this tournament. And those Saturday games, a lot of those games seem like second weekend games. They really do. They seem like 16 games.
It's crazy this year. You're right. No, you're right. This is, I said coming into the tournament, I'm not surprised, but I said this before the tournament started. I posted it. I said there's going to be a lot of good teams playing each other in the second round. Like, I thought Michigan got screwed with the seeding, Scott, but how can I complain? It's like, oh, we're playing Texas A&M if we win. Oh, God. Mexico just scored on a free kick. It was a hell of a goal.
Au revoir, Canada.
Au revoir.
We're done. Sabamal.
On the plus side, no one's really paying attention, Cam, so we can just sort of forget it never happened. We'll move.
You're right. Like the Raptors are playing with Golden State. We're like, who cares?
This isn't like losing to Four Nations or something where it would have been in our face. Like, USA can't say anything. They lost to Panama tonight. So unless you're Panamanian or Mexican, you can't squawk.
We're both losers. We're losers together. Yep.
If you're Panamanian or Mexican, feel free to troll me online. Although I knew Panama was a live dog today. Son of a... But, all right, speaking of live dogs, Steamroller, Bryant. Listen, Bryant had played some big-time teams and hung around a little bit. This team's flying under the radar. The America East, normally it's Vermont's turf, but Bryant pushed them aside this year. And hell, Vermont lost to Maine for the first time in 30 games. But Bryant ends up winning the conference from Rhode Island, getting Michigan State. You trust 17.5 will Sparty bully them, or is this point spread too high?
Yeah, no, I think this is a good number for Michigan State. The Bulldogs are a big fish in a small pond. It's them and Vermont, and then a bunch of other teams that are just absolutely dreadful. And they were horrible in their non-con schedule. They went just 3-10 ATS, and when they were catching 2 or more as a dog, they were 0-5 against the number. I think Michigan State blows this team out.
Xavier and Illinois, good game tomorrow. We always have one team that goes on the run coming out of the first 4. It could be North Carolina, who plays Ole Miss tomorrow. And you got Xavier, who won the play-in game over Texas. And it looks like Texas are going to fire their coach because they lost. Illinois are a strange team to me. I thought Illinois were live going into the tournament last week, the Big Ten. It seems to me that we overestimate Illinois too much, in my opinion. And I've done it, where I look at the glass as more half full than half empty. For the record, I saw their coach Underwood saying in an interview that this is as healthy as they've been. He feels great about the team and all that other type of stuff coming into this. What Illinois here? It's all or nothing with these guys. Steamroller, what's your take against the Musketeers?
I think it's a bad matchup for the Musketeers. This is an Illinois team that absolutely dominates the glass. They're second in the nation in rebounding, and that is not Xavier's game at all. They're a little undersized inside. I think that they get too many second chance points and just clean the glass and clean their clocks. I've got Illinois. And we were talking in the break. I like this Illinois team. I like the fact that they're healthy. I know they didn't do great in the tournament, but I think it's going to take them. I think it took them a little while to get used to playing together again with the full complement of players. They had a little virus that was going around. I think this is a team that's ready to rock and roll.
Oh, my God. This game's getting close, guys.
It's getting way too 60. Close. But I got good 60. News. Seahawks are beating Texas Tech now. They just scored 47-46. Yeah, they just Texas Tech just scored. We got a tight one.
We got a game. Yeah, UNC Wilmington hanging. We got a game right now. But, man, this is getting stressful. Oh, my God. UC San Diego literally just tied the game at 63.
I don't want to.
They literally just freaking tied it. Wow. Michigan have missed so many, and this is typical of them, but they've missed so many putbacks. I don't know what screen you got in front of you, Steamroller, but you see Michigan.
I'm behind you. I got all 4 games, but I'm behind you. They're San Diego just tied it right now. So I'm about 40
Listen, the refs are letting a lot go, and God bless them for it. I'm not going to complain about it, but there's a lot of clutching and grabbing going on, and to Michigan's whatever, like their demise, they're looking for the call too much. Like Michigan are kind of they're not complaining, but it's like they're surprised that there's not fouls. Like, dude, there's 2.5 minutes left. The refs are letting it go. Just man up and freaking dunk it, bro. Don't be soft in the paint here. And they can't leave free throws on the court. And there's a 1-on-1. They get the foul. They miss the free throw. Now it's UC San Diego have the ball 63-63 with the ball, 2:30 and a half left. This is getting real here right now. Oklahoma, 2-time defending champion UConn Huskies. Do they get bounced in the first round, or do they survive and the Tritons have freaking taken the lead, 65-63? I'm going to throw up. Oklahoma, UConn, Scott, what do you think?
I got UConn there. I think they played the. I think they're playing a better basketball right now. I haven't believed in this.
Michigan
Oklahoma
for
team.
3. Oh boy, here we go. Sorry, guys.
Oh my God! There's only I didn't realize there's 2 minutes left.
It's 2 minutes,
game,
Ken. It's getting real right now.
I thought it was 5 minutes. I'm like, this is getting very real right now.
I got off the Tritons today, and that's like when you break up with somebody and then they get somebody way better than you that makes way more money. Like, oh yeah, get off the Tritons. Okay, buddy, we'll show you. We'll go out there and beat the hell out of Michigan. No problem. Oh, come back, Titans! Come back.
I told the story before, but years ago, I was in Mexico, and I was at a sports bar, and I had a sports ticket. The guy next to me goes, "Oh, I didn't know you could bet on sports," and I didn't even know the guy. And he busts out $500, and he goes, "Go bet whatever you want," and he gives another $500, like $1,000, and he goes, "And put in the bet for me." Didn't even know the guy. I went, I put in the bet for him. Long story short, he told me about how he broke up with this girl in Texas, and a week later she won the Powerball lottery and basically bribed him to stay.
Nice.
And it
worked.
He blew thousands of dollars on the spot. He told me he had an allowance and stuff. But then she showed up later. It turned into a real scene.
Yeah, I bet it did.
The SEC has 14 teams in this thing. Chances are they're going to get 1/2 to the Final Four, and Florida's everybody's choice.
It's the Florida Gators for me, and you're going to get them in round number 2, fresh out of the gate. That's what makes it tough. So for me, I'm not putting a lot of stock in UConn being back-to-back national champions at this point, as if that would give them a boost.
Only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid. That magical time of the year when everyone suddenly becomes a basketball expert. Highlight watching, mascot picking, bracket stressing. Sound familiar? Skip the guesswork with Bracket Central. Real expert picks, trusted analysis, and zero stress. Because choosing teams by mascot cuteness isn't exactly a winning strategy. Only on SportsGrid.
Well, for anybody that complains, they don't play NBA basketball like they used to anymore. It's not physical enough. UC San Diego and Michigan was legit the most wild sequence of physical basketball that I've seen since the bad boy Piston days. Remember, literally 5 minutes ago, I said, yeah, Michigan are getting frustrated. They're not getting the calls. And they're literally getting mugged. But then, in this sequence, guys, the game's on the line. It's a 1-point game. There's 42 seconds left. Michigan have the ball. They got denied under the paint 3 times in a row and were fouled over and over and over. And San Diego goes down the court, and Michigan just basically body checked the kid. Like 2 Michigan guys assaulted the guy. They were shocked. The ref didn't call it. The ref was like, play on. Oh, God, Michigan. God, you're sloppy with the ball. God, the game's on the line, and they're all over the place. And they miss the shot, but they get the rebound. And they finally call a foul. The drama. Michigan up 66-65, going to the free throw line with 19.3 seconds left.
If those guys had a big man, you'd be in trouble because Michigan gets every rebound. They just get offensive board and like underneath. Like, yeah, they're in position. Wow, what a game, man. This is nuts.
Golden's got to hit the free throws. Big card Julio. What's up, Julio? We're sweating this out. How you doing?
This is the best time of year, gentlemen. Love this game. Love the ebbs and flows from what we've seen thus far. And we've got compelling finishes in both of the last games. Texas Tech up 5, 1-possession game with Michigan.
Oh, boy. You know what? Michigan needs this free throw. They get up by 3. I almost feel overtime coming just to kill us all. Come on, Golden. You got to hit this one. All right, Golden hits the both free throws. So Michigan, little bit, not a cushion, but they're up 3. 19 seconds left. Ball's in your court, San Diego. You get the 3, and we could be going to OT, tied at 68. They're not calling timeout. I thought they were going to be calling a timeout. They're not calling a timeout. Are they out of timeouts? I can't tell with these modern graphics. I'm like Abe Simpson. How many timeouts are there?
No, I don't think they got it.
I don't think they have any timeouts.
Yeah, Michigan.
No, they
got
don't.
one.
They don't. Here it is. 10 seconds left. They got the ball. Kid's screwing around too much. All right, he takes the 3. He misses the 3. And the Michigan Wolverines win and cover. Michigan wins 68-65 as 2-point favorites. Michigan, hail to the victor. Good job with that. I like this. Good job. Little Michigan love. Michigan.
What a man! I thought they were going to win. I nice double digits. Woo! Wow.
That's a nice middle if people played it correctly. San Diego State opened 3.5. Michigan closed 2. That's the numbers matter. And I'm not saying this as like a pro guy. I'm just saying this is someone who bets a lot and has learned over the years, right? If San Diego, for people who didn't watch them, they're the best team against the spread this year. So of course, pro bettors of college basketball, they know that. They're not like everyone else who's talking about Duke and Kansas and the big Power Fives, blah, blah, blah. They focus on these smaller schools. That's why I love Gabe and Cam, because they talk about the small schools all the time. And if you know these teams well, you're not afraid to pull the trigger, and hopefully people made a nice middle tonight.
I told people on Sunday night, as soon as the bracket came out on X, I posted, I said, if you like UC San Diego, take them now. But if you like Michigan, wait, because they're going to be trendy and everybody's going to take them this week. And it's a good call, Julio. For people that jumped in right away, it's funny because I saw the line right away, and it was 3.5. And I thought it was going to go down, and I was shocked to see it went up to 4.5. And I was like, wow, that's strange. I said, man, I thought it would go down for sure. And then that was short-lived. And then it just got hammered all the way down and ended up closing at 2. But Michigan survive and advance. They get Texas A&M next on Saturday. We'll get you the point spread in a moment or two when it's posted. So, Julio, as you mentioned, UNC Wilmington. They're down by 4 right now, 57-53. Are you surprised that they're hanging with Texas Tech?
A little bit. It's one of those games I did not play on my night card tonight, but a little bit surprised. But then again, I mean, they're a 27-win team for a reason, right? So if you're a calm group, you can stay in these ball games. But a little disappointing on Texas Tech's end.
I'm on Wilmington here. I think I might have gotten greedy. After hitting the first half. I got the over 153.5 as well. In-game total is currently 150.5. Wilmington has slowed down a little bit. Well, they're tied 19-19 in the second half.
How about a sprinkle on Wilmington plus 500 money line? Are you with me?
Well, that's dramatic. No, I'm sweating out the points. I'm almost regretting the 9.5. But as you say this, Cam, they're going to the free throw line right now, down 4.
It's only 3-8. I'm in. You know what? We're here to gamble. That's fine. $50. If they win, let's go. So, go Seahawks.
Mexico's up 2-0 on Canada in the 89th minute. Big disappointment. They scored 47 seconds into the match, and they just scored a couple of minutes ago on a really nice free kick. And USA lost to Panama tonight, Julio. It was not a good night for USA and Canada soccer for either of them.
No, honestly, I think it's a good result for the U.S. in the sense that, all right, you spoiled brats. Now Pochettino's in charge. You got to get it together before the World Cup because this is a disappointing U.S. national team. I mean,
you can only go through so many coaches and blame the coach all the time, too, right?
Yeah. Exactly. This is we've got a lot of guys playing for some of the biggest clubs in Europe, Juventus, AC Milan, doing well in the English Premier League, Bundesliga. You can't be stuck up because you're Christian Pulisic and you play in Milan. You got to treat Panama with respect. You got to treat your CONCACAF rivals with respect. I don't think they do. This loss could finally get them into gear.
I'm upset I didn't take Panama, but what's really surprised me tonight about the result, guys, was that Panama were shorthanded, Julio. Right? Anybody that follows soccer, like they literally were missing like 3 of their starters. Another guy was too hurt to play, was suspended, whatever. Like nobody thought Panama, had the side to play tonight. They ended up winning the game anyways, 1-0.
The SEC has 14 games in this thing. Chances are they're going to get 1/2 to the Final Four, and Florida's everybody's choice.
It's the Florida Gators for me, and you're going to get them in round number 2, fresh out of the gate. That's what makes it tough. So for me, I'm not putting a lot of stock in UConn being back-to-back national champions at this point, as if that would give them a boost.
Only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. That magical time of the year when everyone suddenly becomes a basketball expert. Highlight watching, mascot picking, bracket stressing. Sound familiar? Skip the guesswork with Bracket Central. Real expert picks, trusted analysis, and zero stress. Because choosing teams by mascot cuteness isn't exactly a winning strategy. Only on SportsGrid.
In-game live continues. I am Gabriel Morency. We're kicking it. Big Card Julio in the house. Throwing it down, Sirius XM Channel 159. We'll be with you once again tomorrow night. We're normally on at 10, but we'll be with you until 1 o'clock tomorrow night as well. March Madness style. Still one game going on, and you know what? It's a competitive one. It's a good one. UNC Wilmington down by 3 only. They're battling. What I liked is, guys, they just took a 3, and it was like a heartbreaker. It rattled in and out. Like it literally was going down and popped back up and popped out. And they got the rebound. They fought for the loose ball. They ended up getting it inside the paint. They got the two. Like, they're not overwhelmed. Like, they're competing here. You know, you always get the feeling that Texas Tech could blow it up at any moment. But, hey, there's 8 minutes and 10 seconds left in the game, and it's 60-57 right now. The Seahawks are hanging with the Raiders. Yeah, Seahawks-Raiders, Cam. Red Raiders, Seahawks.
Yeah, that's crazy. Just like the old days, AFC West.
Seahawks, Raiders.
Howie Long, Largent and Craig. Yeah, Kurt Warner with the C. Let's
hope it ends better for this Seahawks.
Oh, no, I remember.
Then Bosworth and Bo Jackson.
I'll never forget that AFC Championship game. They killed Jim Zorn, Dave Craig. Like, every Seahawks dead. Like, Lyle Alzado and Howie Long are just, like, laughing at them. Yeah, it was that Raider team was mean. Real mean.
Yeah, there was once a day, guys, when the Raiders were a real team. Michigan and Texas A&M up next. They're putting the bracket up. I'll get the point spread up. But let's get Julio's picks. See what he likes tomorrow. Julio, you do like the smaller schools. We'll start off with a school that you used to cover when you were the play-by-play guy, Chicago State, Grand Canyon. Grand Canyon against Maryland. We had a guest on earlier that was really fired up that Maryland were going to murder them. They're 10.5-point favorites. The Crab 5, as they're known. Total is 150. What do you think about Grand Canyon and Maryland tomorrow?
Grand Canyon for years have wanted to be the Gonzaga of the Southwest, and then they finally achieved it a few years ago in the tournament, and now they've been the kings of the WAC. How long they're going to be in the WAC, that remains to be seen. But I love the Lopes. Give me the Antelopes plus 10.5 tomorrow. I don't want to read too much into the tea leaves, but I don't like when a coach goes on the record to talk about contracts and his AD leaving and the school not able to afford an extra night in New York City. So I like Grand Canyon before. I like them even more now at 10.5.
I got to be honest, too, and I love Guns Cam, but Maryland are one of those teams that are like sort of Purdue-ish or Clemson. Texas A&M did get it done tonight, barely. They won by 9. They were laying 8, but I get it. Maryland played well down the stretch, but seems a little ambitious suddenly to say, oh, yeah, they're going to roll teams. Like, they're not a powerhouse, Maryland. Like, Maryland? I think 10.5 is a lot. Like, this spread, guys, to me, should be 5.5 or 6.5, not 10.5.
Another thing is, take a look. So Grand Canyon didn't cover
I was going to say,
deal.
How could Michigan only be a 2-point favorite against UC San Diego, but Grand Canyon getting 10.5 against Maryland? Like, it doesn't really add up.
You saw at the end what they did, too. They started to turn it up a notch, too. It's almost like they were playing possum for a bit. I'm telling you, Gabe, Drake today outright.
Like a 29-win team, 28-win team, 29-win team.
Canyon, I'm with Julio. I think Grand Canyon can not only cover, I think they can beat Maryland. I'd be very scared if I was Maryland heading into that game. Grand Canyon, they're not going to be afraid of the Maryland Terrapins. Wow. Maryland, they're one of those teams. They can play great, but they can lay eggs, and they've done it a lot this year. So they better bring their A game because Grand Canyon's going to be ready for a fight, man. I'll take the 10.5 sprinkle money line, please.
I'm with you, Julio, too. Good observation. And Julio's a play-by-play guy, so he's been around these coaches. Julio, I said the same thing. I don't think people really cared when I said it or paid attention to it, but I said it was last night or earlier or whatever. I was talking about Louisville and Creighton. And the Louisville coach was complaining about his seed and complaining about this and that and not getting the respect. And I brought it up. I said, anytime a coach is bitching about the seed and bitching about committees and bitching about stuff, it reminds me of bowl games. Like when coaches bitch, well, we should have been in another game. And we should if you're not just thinking about your opponent and you're going on shows complaining about things, you're not all in. And I brought it up, like Dustin May at Michigan. I don't think, and we all knew Michigan got screwed in the seed. They didn't say a word about it, right? They said, we look forward to going to Denver. That's all they said. Like, they didn't say, this is garbage. We got to play UC San Diego. We got to go to Denver and why this and that. They didn't say a word. They won the game. Anytime, man, I swear. Like, life isn't fair. We know it. Doesn't mean it's not right, but, like, you got to suck it up and just tune it out. And like you said, bitching about hotel rooms and stuff. It's like, shut up, bro.
Zach.
The SEC has 14 teams in this thing. Chances are they're going to get 1/2 to the Final Four, and Florida's everybody's choice.
It's the Florida Gators for me, and you're going to get them in round number 2, fresh out of the gate. That's what makes it tough. So for me, I'm not putting a lot of stock in UConn being back-to-back national champions at this point, as if that would give them a boost.
Only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you've got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid. That magical time of the year when everyone suddenly becomes a basketball expert. Highlight watching, mascot picking, bracket stressing. Sound familiar? Skip the guesswork with Bracket Central. Real expert picks, trusted analysis, and zero stress. Because choosing teams by mascot cuteness isn't exactly a winning strategy. Only on SportsGrid.
In-game live game day Sports Rage edition continues. I'm Gabriel Morency. SportsGrid Radio and Television Network will be with you until 1 o'clock Eastern this evening. March Madness has begun. It's interesting to get different guests and different perspectives on the games for tomorrow. And, yeah, I don't trust Maryland. You know, the old trust word. I don't trust Maryland enough laying 10.5. They're not like it's like, oh, yeah, this team's unstoppable. That's double digits. And no, I think people underestimate Grand Canyon because they didn't cover point spreads earlier in the year, but they're actually good. Norfolk State and Florida, speaking of good, Florida Gators are 28.5-point favorites. Tennessee fell short today because they're not quite explosive enough. They don't play fast enough, and they nearly covered. It came down to like a shot missed and hit, and it was that close to the spread. But Florida, get after it. They're super athletic, Julio. It's 28.5, but I think it's Florida or pass here, guys, in this game. Florida should murder them. So I would expect Florida to absolutely light them up. We had some love for Troy earlier in the program, Julio, against Kentucky tomorrow. Total 151.5. What do you think about those games?
For KU, I just think they have too much of a three-point presence. I think they'll pull away in this late in the second half. I have a feeling it's going to be one of those games. I didn't play Florida, but I am all over Sheriff Lobo and New Mexico. I played it at 3.5. I'd still play it at +4. I also think they get the upset, +150 for Nueva Mexico tomorrow. And I love Akron. I mean, this is a team that they were preseason number 1 in the MAC. It's always difficult to win your conference tournament when you're a heavy favorite. Akron did that. I think they have a good enough offensive ability to keep up with Arizona. So give me Akron +14.5 tomorrow, the early evening tip-off, the Zips.
Julio's in Denver, Colorado, but is from Illinois, and we got a big game tomorrow, Julio, with Illinois and Xavier. And once again, we've had numerous guests on tonight, so we've had a couple of people say, oh, yeah, I like Xavier to keep it going. I don't trust Illinois. And we've had other people say, oh, they think Illinois are going to own the boards and they're too good for Xavier. Julio, you know the program pretty well. I brought it up. it seems to me, and I don't know, I've done it, I think other people do it, that we kind of like overestimate them, it seems. You know what I mean? It's always like the glasses, oh, you know what, if, you know, oh, they're good, but, like, you know what I mean? We hear that all the time. Illinois are really, really dangerous. If, you know, watch out for Illinois, but they never win, right? They always underachieve. And then we do it all over again. They're almost like the Chargers, Cam. Like every year, oh, watch out for the Chargers. Oh, these guys. Like, yeah, it's Illinois. Yeah. Watch out for Illinois. Oh, they're really good. It's like, it's like the same result all the time. Yeah,
exactly.
It's like, I don't know. And then after, you're like, man, why did I freaking bet on Illinois and put all that money on them? Xavier coming in hot off the win against Texas. We know Xavier have ballers, right? They're a good team too, Xavier. Like, these guys can play. Conwell's an elite player, but I saw Underwood talking about how healthy Illinois is now, and this is as good as they've been, and all this stuff. Julio, what are you buying or selling about this game tomorrow?
I'm so torn because I love this Illinois team. Will Riley, fellow Canadian, put on 20 pounds this season. I think he's going to be a good NBA prospect. I love Jakajunas, the Lithuanian, could be the best guard coming out of the draft. I just hate Brad Underwood in the NCAA tournament. I mean, I was more surprised
there's a lot of potential
last year.
Here. Oh, they got this, they got that. I know, but like, it's true.
But I was more surprised last year that Underwood took them to the Elite Eight, and then he got slapped around by a much better coach. I don't know if I'm going to play this game. I have Illinois marked at -3. I'm tossing and turning with this game. I'm not playing it personally, but if you're giving me the coaching handicap, I take Sean Miller over Brad Underwood in the tournament any day of the week.
Oklahoma are getting 5.5 now. This is another sort of polarizing one. You know, for me with UConn, one thing with UConn we've seen this year, guys, you know, they started out early in Hawaii, and it was almost a sign of things to come, where you're the two-time champions. You should be chill. Remember, we talked about it like 3 games in, and Hurley's like basically nearly assaulting referees. It's like, bro, you're in Hawaii. We're in Hawaiian shirts. The first game of the year, and you're throwing chairs and kicking chairs over and stuff. And then, like, you know, oh, the media doesn't like me. You know, we don't get treated fairly. And, you know, Julio and Cam, you know, remember Julio recently got picked up on a mic telling the referee, I'm the best goddamn coach in the country, and you're screwing me. You know, stuff like that. It's like, settle down, bro. Like, if you're a ref, that's the type of stuff that makes you hate him. That's like Nick Nurse. I'm a champion. It's like, we get it, Nick. You want a title, bro. You know, just shut up about it. It's like Earl Weaver. I'm going to the Hall of Fame. And you're effing me. And the umpire said back to him, you're going to the Hall of Fame for what? Earl screwing up the World Series against the Pirates.
At least Earl was funnier, though, but they're all complainers.
Yeah. He goes, you're a liar.
You're a liar, Earl.
Too good. Yeah. When Earl goes, you touch me. I'm going to file a complaint. You touch me. He goes, you're a liar, Earl.
That's the best.
And don't call me a liar. I'm going to the Hall of Fame. For what?
Really,
screwing up the World Series?
that is insane behavior. Like, even if you like to go out and say that type of stuff.
All year, Cammy's been bitching. The refs, the commissioners, this, that, the media, Hurley. Now you get Oklahoma here. But I was going to say, they are good, and I don't know if they're going to go down in the first game here, but anyone that's watched UConn this year, guys, what I was going to say is, all their games are close, Julio. They're not really good enough to blow you out and pull away, bro.
Yeah, that's why I played it when it opened at 4. But I love Porter Mosier. He's a great head coach. He's a great tournament coach.
Yeah.
At $2, shop around for the best price, but I'm seeing plus 200. I'm going to take a little Oklahoma. I mean, I do have UConn -4, but I would not be shocked if the Sooners pulled an upset and won by 1 or 2 points.
Very similar to St. John's, Gabe. If you watch them play, like Georgetown's up on them, they get slapped early and then they come back and win like a game by like 1 or 2 possessions. Like, it's not been easy for UConn. That's the thing. When you watch them play, they're not like those old teams of the past. And you're playing with fire if you do that in the tournament, because you go do that against a good team, they'll run away with you and they won't have the guns to come back. But that's their MO.
I tell you, man, one day in, what a marathon it's been so far. I always say it's a marathon and not a sprint, but you know, it's draining, man, just watching these games all day. I was excited last night for it. I don't find tomorrow's slate. There's good games tomorrow night when we're on, but I find earlier in the day, it's like, it's okay. We'll see, we'll see what develops. But I want to get people caught up to date with some of the point spreads that we haven't given you yet, such as Michigan taking on Texas A&M on Saturday. Big time game. And we got the Michigan Wolverines and the Texas A&M Aggies number opens up Texas A&M minus 1.5. Texas A&M minus 125 money line. Over under 140.5. Michigan plus 104 money line. Michigan plus 1.5. Cam, I thought that Michigan was going to win this game, and I thought they were going to. This is an evenly matched game. Michigan and Texas A&M. Like, Texas A&M are good, but I think Michigan's so used to playing in these close games that they're going to get it done in another close one.
Here's the thing. What? Survive in advance. Michigan pummeled San Diego early in this game, and then San Diego came back and they withdrew. Tie game, got really interesting. Michigan hung in there. They came back. They win the game late. That's what you have to do. Survive in advance. This lesson, they're going to know. You can't be screwing around the next game. I'm with you. Michigan gets it done in a tight one. I'll take the Wolverines, please.
On the other side, we'll get you the point spread for the UCLA Bruins and the Tennessee Volunteers. That's a great matchup. Rick Barnes versus Mick Cronin. Man, we got some really, really big-time second-round matchups this year. Arkansas, St. John's. We'll get you the number on the other side as well. Let's roll.
For sure.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
Just rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
That magical time of the year when everyone suddenly becomes a basketball expert. Highlight watching, mascot picking, bracket stressing. Sound familiar? Skip the guesswork with Bracket Central. Real expert picks, trusted analysis, and zero stress. Because choosing teams by mascot cuteness isn't exactly a winning strategy. Only on SportsGrid.
In-game live continues. I'm Morency. It's the March Madness special, but doesn't mean we have to only talk about basketball. There's other NCAA tournaments going on as well. And Julio's on top of everything. I'm surprised Julio doesn't have a flyweight, Cam. He doesn't have a flyweight wrestling parlay for us. NCAA wrestling.
Yes.
Hey, guys, Iowa State flyweight and Texas Tech. Texas Tech's middleweight parlay.
If they had lines for it, I'd dig into it for sure. But unfortunately,
I'm looking right
they
now
don't.
because it's on TV. I got a stream for it today. I was looking NCAA wrestling. Our boy Joey Odessa, there's numbers somewhere for it. Let's see, wrestling. I don't know, just stupid sports book. These guys, you have everything. You know, you like ridiculous. This, Cam, I punch in wrestling in the search. Their search is pretty good if you can't find something. I punch in wrestling, you know what pops up? I almost got to bet it now. A horse. Wrestling revenue in the 8th race. Ooh. Newcastle, 7th race.
That's coming up right after the show. Newcastle, one of my tracks.
Love I have to bet on wrestling revenue just because I just punched. I wanted NCAA wrestling, but now I got to put a little piece on wrestling revenue.
Dude, I literally bet Australian racing with names. Like they had a trainer named Stewart. He won it like 14-1. They actually had a Gabriel guy. He came in second at like 40-1. I have no book. I have nothing. I look at horses. The ones that don't sweat too much in names, and it's been going very well. Like literally, the book will tell you. You could do it just looking at these bad boys. Problem with Australia, though, quickly, they don't have different colored silks. So you're watching a race, and I'm
tough.
Like,
there's 3 horses with yellow and 3 with purple.
It's all the same blue. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Like everyone knows the international colors of horse racing: 1 red, 2 white, 3 it's known. But anyway, they don't do it that way. They make everything difficult. Those guys. Talk to Mick Ozzie.
I'm looking here right now, Julio. I don't see NCAA hockey lines up overnight. Let me look at another.
I got golf right now.
I do have one.
If you're feeling it. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Cam.
What do you got, Julio?
Yeah, what do you got? I'll give you one right now. I'm on this guy at 20, 10-1, Jordan Smith, and I'll give you a little a flyer. 40-1, Alejandro Del Rey. He's a very hot player on the European Tour right now. And a guy I won a couple weeks ago for your Chinese New Year, Hoa Tong Lee, is dangerous at 40-1. That's Singapore Classic for you. Done.
Love Chinese New Year. Women's Frozen Four is taking place this weekend. It's basically the Big Ten Invitational. Ohio State, Minnesota, the Lady Badgers of Wisconsin are my women's Frozen Four pick. -115, best women's hockey school in the nation. The Lady Badgers.
I like it, Julio. It's short and sweet. There's only 4 teams. We're down to the final 4. You know, we got women's basketball too tomorrow. Actually, I'll get people some numbers for this. The women's final 4. The first 4 was tonight, but the women's tournament starts tomorrow. You got Michigan and Iowa State in the morning. I like where you're going with that, Julio. I got a number right in front of me. Yeah, Wisconsin -115, Ohio State +160, Minnesota 10-1, Cornell 16-1, and the men's futures. We don't have overnights, but we got the conference tournament winners here, guys. ECAC hockey, Quinnipiac +180, Clarkson +280, Cornell +300, Dartmouth. I grew up around like Clarkson hockey. NCHC tournament, Western Michigan +125, Julio. Denver Pioneers +220. Arizona State, who'd have thought, +475. North Dakota +550. Should be noted, the UNLV Running Rebels ice hockey team won their first ever championship yesterday as well, or 2 days ago. So congratulations to them. What are you thinking about the Pies here, Julio? The Pioneers going to get it done again?
I like them to win the national title. This is a tough tournament. Arizona State's been very good this year. I kind of like that North Dakota number, but I think I like the Pios at 5-1 to win the national title. But this is going to be a really good tournament. I wouldn't be surprised if any of those schools outside Western Michigan win.
And man, all right. So we got no NCAA wrestling lines, unfortunately. I'm looking right now.
Nothing.
No.
They've got Division II men's volleyball lines, but they don't have the college wrestling national championship lines. That's a shame.
This is torture right now at the end here. We'll see with this game. It's 79-68 with 1:17 left. God.
Did you see Texas Tech hit that shot too? Like bounced like 4 times off the rim and in. The guy in the Seahawks can get the rebound. Frustrating. I need to get that.
And I got an over bet in game here too. I got over 153.5. So we're at 148 right now. It's sort of right there, but it's going to fall short, I bet. I went big on it too. I'm looking right now. Son of a. I actually just want points here. I don't care who scores. And look at that, Cam. Texas Tech, that free throw just rattled around. Texas Tech just rattled a free throw around like around and went in. Like,
I know.
Now they're up by 12. It's just slipping away. Oh, they're up by 13. Oh boy, it's
yeah. I got 12.5 too. This is not good. Yeah, see, that's what happens. Gabe,
don't quit, Wilmington.
Really
don't quit.
Pennies.
All right, Wilmington scored, Kevin. They didn't quit. They're not quitting. They're down 11. Don't quit, guys. Play to the end. Play to the end.
Seahawks.
Don't listen to Scott Steen. He goes, I don't know why these teams play to the end. You're going to lose. I'm like, no. You got to play to the end, man.
That's the best. His speech was opposite to yours. You're like, that's why I hate the NBA. He's like, that's why I love the NBA. They just dribble it out.
He got mad about betting unders, Julio, that the teams didn't quit. He goes, you're down by 12 and you're fouling with 30 seconds left. I said, good. Said I hate that in the NBA when teams just dribble the ball and start talking to each other with 2 minutes left in the game.
Give each other hugs in center court. Yeah.
They shake hands. They start talking. Hey, what's up, bro? Yeah, nice shoes. I heard you got a new shoe deal. All right, cool. See you in the playoffs. 81-70 right now with 109 left. We got potential here, guys. We got potential.
We
81-70.
Just need a stop and a basket. That's all. That's what we need. I'm not giving up.
Well, that was a disappointing soccer night tonight for us in North America. But Julio, how about them Whitecaps? 4-0, bro, for the first time ever. They're only the 7th team to go 4-0 and have all 3 points in all 4 games in MLS history. And guess who they play this week? Chicago. We'll wrap up on the other side.
Fire.
Dude, the Fire.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5 point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the game starts so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
That magical time of the year when everyone suddenly becomes a basketball expert. Highlight watching, mascot picking, bracket stressing. Sound familiar? Skip the guesswork with Bracket Central. Real expert picks, trusted analysis, and zero stress. Because choosing teams by mascot cuteness isn't exactly a winning strategy. Only on SportsGrid.
Oh, you can't make it. Listen, I can't. I wanted the 12.5. I didn't get it in on time. I had 9.5, and they just won by 10. But I can't complain because I went bigger on the over 153.5, and it gets to 154. Now he's going to dunk it. Oh, my God. That's wild.
What?
Do you see what the guy on Texas Tech, look what he did.
Oh,
he faded everybody. He faded everybody.
And
at the last second was said, "Oh,
that's ridiculous." Oh my God, that's so weak. Thank God
the amount of money that could have changed hands on that.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, I don't want to get the kid in trouble, but if I was the NCAA right now, right away I'd be like, whoa. Why did he do that? Like, what the point spread is what it is. Like, why did he just do that? Like, you know what I mean? I swear I'd look it up. See this kid, what's he up to? Like, he literally, but I was like, really? Because everyone stopped. There's like 5 seconds left. He's got the ball, and you see him. He sort of looks, and he sort of like half-hazardly throws it up. Well, I was wild at the end, 10 points. So I win by half a point, lose by half a point. I guess I got to take it and deal with it. It is what it is. Cam, what's your best bet in the morning?
Best bet in the morning. Okay, Morency.
In the afternoon, morning, tomorrow. What do you got?
Other than horse racing?
No,
best
basketball.
Let's roll here. Oh, basketball. Okay, we're going to go with, I like St. Mary's over Vanderbilt. I'm going to take a shot with Colorado State. North Carolina makes the card. Grand Canyon plus 10.5. And what else are we looking for? I'm with Julio. New Mexico plus 3.5 / money line against Marquette.
Julio, your top plays tomorrow.
For tomorrow, Akron plus 14.5, Liberty plus 7, and a little on the money line plus 255. As I mentioned earlier, Sheriff Lobo plus 4 and money line plus 150. Yeah, I'll pull the trigger. Illinois, I'll regret it. Illinois minus 3 against Xavier and North Carolina.
I'm going to go Baylor, Mississippi State over 144.5. First game up. I'm going to go over 166. Robert Morris, Alabama, in the game at 12:40. Following it, no strong feel for Lipscomb, Iowa State. Iowa State probably roll them. You know, this is a weird one, but I'm going to go with Memphis. I'm going to go with Memphis to beat Colorado State plus the 1.5. I don't trust Colorado State this, Colorado State that. Let's see them deal with Memphis's athletes. Give me the Tigers plus 1.5. Duke, Mount St. Mary's, no strong feel, minus 32. Vandy, St. Mary's, minus 4.5. Don't really love it. I think St. Mary's wins, but I'm not. That's another one I don't love. I'm on North Carolina and Ole Miss. Give me North Carolina to win and give me the over 156. Give me the Grand Canyon plus 10.5. But I do think for a big point spread game, guys, I think Florida are going to murder Norfolk State.
Agreed.
It's 28.5. They'll win by 40 or something like that. Like they'll win like 100-60 or 95 to, whatever. They're going to roll them. So Florida will roll Norfolk State tomorrow. And it's funny, I took Wilmington plus the points in the first half, but look for Florida to kill them in the first half, kill them in the game. Troy could be live tomorrow, plus 11. There'll be points in that Troy-Kentucky game. Let's go over to the 151.5. New Mexico. This will be the one Mountain West team that I will play. Give me New Mexico, plus 4 with Donovan Denton Company. Plus 4 against Marquette. Should be a fun game. Arizona Akron's going to be a freaking track meet. Give me the over 167. Give me the plus 5.5 with the Oklahoma Sooners. Xavier and Illinois, I'm torn. And I don't have to give you a pick. I'm like Natalie Imbruglia. I'm ripped and torn.
Wow, what a reference.
I'm already torn. The Natalie Imbruglia reference of the night.
Wow.
Xavier in Illinois. They say 9:45, but that's not really true. Like we'll be on the air at 10 o'clock tomorrow, so we'll have picks for the late games tomorrow. I do like Liberty and Oregon to go over the number. All right, so great show tonight, guys. Thanks for joining us, Julio. Quick NHL check. Carolina Hurricanes are beating the San Jose Sharks 3-1 right now with 3 minutes left in the hockey game. NBA basketball is done. Updated futures for the NCAA tournament now after day one. Duke plus 320, Florida plus 400, Auburn plus 425, Houston plus 550, Alabama 18-1, Tennessee 20-1, St. John's 22-1. Thanks to our crew and our guests tonight. We'll see you on Friday night at 10 o'clock Eastern. Let the madness continue. Other than that, you're on your own later.
The game is.
They've made the Sweet 16 each of the past 2 years.